let us look at different principles and practices that we follow in Kanban. So when we talk about Kanban, the first thing that comes to our mind is Kanban board. And the Kanban board can be like this, which is very simple, containing just three columns like to do column, in progress column, and done column. Or it could be quite complex like this board. So I'm using Trello tool over here. So in this I have made different columns for the different stages or phases that we have in our software development process. So these are the list of requirements that we have, and these are the tasks which are present in design phase. These are the tasks that are present in to do phase. These are the tasks that are present in doing phase, on which the team is working, the team is coding, and they are constructing, and they are doing some unit testing and stuff. And this is the next stage where we do code review, and these are the different tasks which are in code review stage. And there are more phases that I have included: testing, and the final stage is done. Like if a particular task, for example, here I have taken login screen. If this task is completed, then it will fall in done list. So these all tasks, they have to start from the first stage and they have to pass through these all stages. And this is one of the electronic board, we can say, which is a Kanban board, and there are many other tools available so as to implement Kanban framework in your project. So now coming back to the principles in Kanban. The first principle is visualize the workflow. As we have studied in our initial session, that Kanban is the primary motive in Kanban is to visualize the workflow or workflow management. And here when we say visualizing the workflow, what actually we do is we try to showcase these board or Kanban board, or to make it visible and transparent to all the team members, the stakeholders, and the people who are interested in your project. It could be your senior management, sponsors, or any stakeholder. So if you are maintaining an electronic Kanban board, then it could be available on your company's portal, and all your stakeholders will be able to visualize the status of the project. So the first principle in Kanban is to visualize the workflow. You have to make your process visible to all the stakeholders. You have to update all the tasks in each of the phases of your project. Like if any of the task, if it is in construction phase, then you have to update that task under doing phase. And if it is moving to code review phase, then you will have to, or your team has to ensure that the task is moving to the respective stage at what we can say is when the task is completed, or when the task is the construction is completed, and when code review is started, then it has to move to that stage. And by doing this, the team will be able to manage all the tasks. We are going to study the other principles also. See, so the third principle is manage flows. Managing the flow means you have to understand the journey of each of the tasks on your Kanban board, and you have to understand how efficiently you are able to manage all the tasks, and whether you are able to finish those all tasks within the planned time. And if any task is getting stuck somewhere in any of the stages, then you will have to, or your team will have to, understand what is the problem, what is the issue, and what is the bottleneck that is causing that task not to move ahead. So that is known as managing the flow. The second principle, it says limit work in progress. Limit work in progress means you cannot overload a particular stage of your project at a given point of time. For example, you should, or your team should, limit, or they should form limits for each of the stages. For example, in the design phase, there cannot be more than 5 tasks at a time. In the to do phase, they can design it like there cannot be more than 3 tasks at a time, or in the construction phase there cannot be more than 4 tasks at a time. So this way they have to set up the upper limit for each of the stages, so that any of the stage will not get overloaded with the tasks at any point of time. By doing that, you will be able to streamline the process. And the team who is working in the construction phase, if they are working on 5 tasks already, then this team, the design team, should not push their tasks to this stage or construction stage, because that will overload the team, and that might even cause other problems in the project, and it would cause the it might be a bottleneck. For example, if the team is already loaded with 5 tasks, which is the upper limit that is set for the construction phase, and if more and more tasks are getting pushed to that stage, then it might cause issues. So Kanban talks about pull principle. This team, this in this stage, if the team is working on 5 tasks, and if they are getting completed with 2 tasks, and if they are moving those 2 tasks to code review stage, then they can pull 2 tasks from the previous stage. So Kanban talks about pull principle, and it is not push. So the teams should only pull the tasks. The upstream should not be pushing the tasks to the downstream. Yeah, so this is also one of the rule that the team has to follow when they adopt Kanban method. There are other practices also that we follow in Kanban, like making process policies explicit. You need to have explicit policies. For example, you have to very well define each of the criteria for each of the stage. For example, you will have to define the exit criteria for each of the stage. You have to define the entry criteria for each of the stage, so that when the process policies are explicit, then there would be very less possibility of bottlenecks or problems in the process. Improve collaboration. You have to ensure that your team members are interacting more and more, and you create a collaborative environment within the team, so that it due to the improved communication, they will be able to manage their workflow better. So that will help them to streamline the process and to maximize the throughput. Stop starting and start finishing. So this principle again talks about you should not overload at any of the stages. You should only pull the tasks from the previous stage after you finish few of your tasks which are at hand, and you just after those tasks are released to the next stage, then only you should pull the fresh tasks from the previous stage. So these are the different practices that we follow in Kanban. So Kanban, as we know that Kanban is all about the Kanban board, the visualization of workflow, and representing each of the tasks using the cards. So you might be using a physical board, or you might be using an electronic board, so as to represent your workflow and managing the workflow. So this is all about the principles and practices that we follow in Kanban. So in our next session, we are going to look at how do we implement the Kanban, and how is it different from Scrum, and is it better than Scrum. So we are going to see that in our upcoming session. Yeah, until then, bye.